Yes, ma'am. Can
Am I audible, Chanchal?
yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Nikhil sir. Welcome for today's session on CIA awareness on challenge exams.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. We are really happy to have this session for the CAs. You will definitely get a good insight about how CA or CISA or ACC can just qualify the CIA qualification exam in just one go. It is interesting to learn more about it from Nikhil sir, who is an experienced CIA and working in the field of internal audit for more than 39 years. He is a qualified chartered accountant and certified internal auditor, graduated from Delhi University and a dual school alumni with an experience of over 37 years. Presently, he is the senior partner at 𝐂𝐻𝐿 and Associates and independent director at multiple on board of multiple companies. He's also the member of Indian Public School Society. I'm sure all of you will get a very good insight from Sir. He is also the past, he's the ex-CEO of IAEA India, trained more than thousands of challenge exams students over last 3 years. And hopefully you will get the right answers for all your questions related to CIA challenge exams. Over to you, Nikhil sir. Let's start the session.
Sure. Thank you for your kind words, Sana, and good evening to all the participants. I will just reconfirm. I hope my screen is visible, Chanchal.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So today we are just going to be talking about the CIA challenge exam, and a lot of the frequently asked questions are going to be covered today. In addition to that, I was also given to understand that some people do need to have some very basic information as far as the Institute of Internal Auditors are concerned. So about, I think, 3 or 4 slides are on the IIA, just for the information of those who may not be familiar with this institute. And then, of course, we will go on to the main topic for the day, which is the CIA challenge and what are the normally asked questions regarding this particular exam, which is applicable to most of you who are attending. You may be aware that the Institute of Internal Auditors is the profession's most widely recognized advocate, educator, provider of standards. You must have heard about the IPPF, the International Professional Practices Framework, which is quite, which is adopted the world over as far as internal audit is concerned. And of course, we also give guidance and a lot of certifications. Guidance is available in terms of, if you get onto the website of the IIA, and if you are a member, you have an access to an absolutely amazing amount of knowledge on topics which are of interest to us. This slide very briefly tells you that we have more than 210,000 members across the world in over 100 and I think now it'll be 14 or 15 affiliates in 170 plus countries across the world. So we are definitely a very global organization, and Asia is now one of the fastest growing regions as far as IIA is concerned, IIA members are concerned. And what you'll see from this particular map is that we have 6 chapters in all the metro cities, but in addition to that, we also have audit clubs to enhance our footprint across the country and to allow professionals to network with each other. In brief, these are the 8 key benefits which you get. The biggest one, of course, is our training programs. We have been conducting over the past at least 70, 80 programs. I think just when COVID started, we went up to about 136 programs in 1 year, over 2 programs a week. So you will see that there is a lot of knowledge to be gained, and many of these programs are either free or at very reasonable cost. We do believe in gender diversity. That is absolutely reflected from the fact that Sana, who is just addressing you, is in charge of student development. She is also the vice president of the Delhi chapter, and she has also been a very, very active member of the Women's Forum for IIA. Our current president of IIA India, Mrs. Uma Prakash, is also a lady. So, definitely we have a huge contribution coming in from ladies, and we definitely do encourage, gender diversity within this organization. The third is that in case you want to improve your own quality of your internal audit departments, there are processes and assessments which are available at a charge. These could be done locally or they could be done from, normally we have a US person who comes in, but could be assisted with team members who would be, again, CIAs with over 20, 25 years of experience to help you and assess the maturity of your internal audit function. Some of our programs certainly would help you also to benchmark your internal audit practice versus the global standards. If you have not attended any of our webinars or our seminars, specifically our conferences, I would certainly recommend that you should attend these conferences, because that is when you will understand what is the caliber and the quality and the number of people who are associated with the Institute of Internal Auditors. All of them are absolutely top-notch, and some of them represent the best companies within the country and even outside. We do help people with recruitment and internships as and when required, and we have a specific section for that within our magazine. I have already spoken to you about the value of conferences and webinars, and we've also come out with an excellent IIA India periodical. This is in addition to the IIA Global periodical, which is also available to all the members. One point I was specifically requested to share with you is that you do not need to be a CIA in order to become a member of the Institute of Internal Auditors. And of course, the huge discounts which will be available if you are a member really well make it worth your while. But I would say don't do it for the discounts. Just do it on account of the huge value which you would get as a professional if you were to join us as a member. So now to come to the main body of today's subject, that what is the challenge exam? We have a list of 18 qualified QABs, qualified accounting bodies, which I will be sharing with you in another couple of slides, who can take advantage of becoming a CIA through a one-shot process if they are successful. So this is known as the challenge exam, and it will include CIA content, which is already not covered by your local accounting exam, because all these 18 bodies are by and large affiliated under 𝐈𝐈𝐀, the International Federation of Accountants. And this helps to strengthen IIA strategic partnership with accounting bodies across the world. The beauty of the CIAs, as you know, is that it is broken up into 3 parts. But if you were to look at this challenge exam, it is basically one single exam, 150 objective type questions. And I think it's a 3-hour paper. So, it allows you, if you're confident and knowledgeable about the contents of the exam, to clear it in one single shot. Will this exam be conducted every year? Well, we have been doing it for the last couple of years, but there were also some noises that it may not continue. So my suggestion is, for those of you who are interested, don't regret it later. If you have an opportunity, sit for it fast. because then you will be able to take the advantages and the benefits and get your return on investment of going in for the CIA degree by clearing the CIA challenge exam, which is conducted by 𝐈𝐈𝐀. I was talking to you about the 18 qualified accounting bodies which are members of 𝐈𝐈𝐀. So what you can say is that if you are a member, an active member of any of these bodies, whether it's the Hong Kong Institute or the Canadian Institute or the Australian Institute, of course, most of you would be interested in serial number 9, which applies to us, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. You become eligible to sit for the challenge exam, which is the one-shot single sitting exam which is available. Another question which is asked is that you've cleared your CA, but you are yet to take membership. So can you take the challenge exam? The answer is no. You can only take the challenge exam if you are an active member of one of the 18 qualified accounting bodies. So for example, if you are within the a member of the ICAI, all you need to do is give us a scanned copy of your CA certificate and a screenshot of your public registry, which comes in the website as ICAI website as Trace a Member, which indicates your membership with the qualifying, with the QAB is still active. In this case, the QAB would be the ICAI. If you're a cost accountant, company secretary, or a CFA, you would not be entitled to take the CIA challenge exam, but I guess you will get the benefit of sitting for 3 parts and probably getting a more thorough chance to prepare for this particular exam. Can existing CIA registered students take this challenge exam? We have had cases where, people have cleared one part of the 3-part exam, but they've still gone ahead and taken the CIA challenge because it allows them to clear it in one sitting. Unfortunately, these are parallel tracks, so it's not that your fees can be transferred. Therefore, you will have to apply and register separately for the CIA challenge exam. And as far as your ID is concerned, you will have to upload any government-approved ID. Basically, what we are talking about could be your Aadhaar card, your passport, your driving license, which have to be with you in original at the time of exam, sitting for the challenge, and they have to be in English. One point which many people, I noticed that Aditya has raised his hand. So Aditya, can I request you to please make a note of your queries? What we can do is you can even post them on the chat show. And, once these, all the points have been covered, then we will have an open Q&A session where we would try to address all your queries. Thank you for your patience, Aditya. So what type of character reference is required? You need a character reference, and this refers to your, moral and professional character. And it could be, submitted by anyone who is got any of the qualifications of the IIA, the CIA, CGAP, CCSA, CFSA, CRMA, QIL. Or if you don't know anyone from that category, it could be the candidate supervisor. So this is done electronically. You must tell the person that, you have given that person's name as a reference, because it happened with me. One of my ex-articles who had become a chartered accountant gave my reference, and, I got a mail and I missed it. So, then he told me, he says, sir, the process is getting delayed. So once he told me about that, he had to reapply for the reference itself. And once he informed me, then I was waiting for it in my mail and I saw it and I gave the okay. So, do inform the person, because if you miss it and you don't submit your character reference, you will not be allowed to sit for the exam. So this is important. So, if you don't get a response, they may update the information after 7 days and resubmit. So please reach out and initiate the character reference process as quickly as possible. How do you register for the exam? We have the following links. The links are available on the IIA website as well as the global website. Once you get onto iia.org, go into promotions / certifications, and you would be able to do this. Please note that the challenge exam for people sitting from India are entitled to discounted fees. So do take advantage of that. And this gives you an indication of the kind of discounts which are available. If you were a IIA India member, you would pay 900, close to $900. Whereas if you were just a member of IIA, you would be paying, I think, about $1,200. But for a non-member of IIA, you would have to pay $1,545. So there is a substantial discount. And even you will note for the retake, it comes down from $945 to $595 for a retake for those who are sitting for the exam. Of course, for CISA holders, there is a different set of rates, which is also specified. My only recommendation is that please prepare adequately and thoroughly. I would feel very sorry if you had to still invest in the retake, because it does cost money. It is not a cheap exam. So do save your money by preparing thoroughly and making sure you clear. These are the fees, as I've told you, which include your application fee, your registration fee, as well as a package which you get, an examination package. So some people ask that I've not been able to sit for my exam. Can I get a refund? I had a personal exigency. Unfortunately, once your application is submitted, there is no scope for refunds. So please don't take any liberties. Set your dates in advance, prepare for it, be ready to sit for it, and then just go ahead and do so. So as I've already mentioned, even IIA members outside of India would have to pay about 33 and 1/3% more than what, people, IIA members sitting in India would be. So there is a specific discount, especially to encourage people to sit for this exam within India. And again, this is a special discount. I'm not sure how long it would remain applicable. Do take advantage of this. What is the fees to become a member of IIA India? Well, it's a very reasonable 1,500 one-time registration and 4,000 rupees on an annual basis. Of course, if you join in Q2, then that 4,000 would become 3,000, and if you join in Q3, it would become 2,000. So since we're already in Q2, if you join today, it would be 1,500 plus 3,000 rupees. This is also available on the website. How does a challenge exam cost compare with the regular 3-part exam? It's not strictly comparable because of the time savings which are there. The fact that the challenge exam also gives you access to study material as well as a question bank. So, these fees include the application fees, the registration fees, and your exam preparation package. They say you can cover the package in about 14 hours, but from feedback we've received, it is recommended that you should put in at least 150 hours to be sure that you would be able to clear. This is on the basis of what we have got, feedback we have received from people who have cleared the exam. Will I be eligible for any concessional study loans from banks or NBFCs? Normally, you're expected to self-finance. In certain cases, employers also encourage and reimburse you partially or fully for sitting for the exam. However, there is also an option available with Bank of Baroda, which I will refer to later. How do you prepare for the exam? As I've mentioned, as a part of the application bundle, you will receive a digital copy of the CIA learning system from IIA Global, along with a question bank of 1,000 questions. We also have on YouTube as well as on our website links to trainings conducted by Mr. Namchi, who's a Singapore trainer. Singapore, by the way, has the best results for CIA certification. So he gives some very usefully conducted 4 sessions. Do please invest in those. In addition to that, 𝐂𝐈𝐀 had also provided us with specific discounted fees of just $50 for 60 days access to the online data bank. And they have 3,000 questions. So what I would suggest is that if you want to go in for this, because of course, as they say, prepare is the best way to sit for the exam, is if you've gone through the 1,000 questions, you're comfortable with those, go through these additional 6,000 questions and you should be, but don't cram, understand the concepts. That is absolutely critical. And that's what Mr. Namchi also suggests. You must be clear as far as the concepts are concerned. There is no knowledge which you are expected to learn by rote. So don't try to be a ratta tota, as they say in Hindi. Just learn to study for it with your own, and get your concepts absolutely clear. Are there any classes available for the CIA Challenge exam? So we do have the Bombay chapter conducting crash courses. They've already conducted 2 crash course batches and a 3rd one is in progress. You could contact the Kritika at the Bombay chapter. Telephone number is given. It's also there on the website. And when will you receive your customized CI learning system? You will get it once you are approved into the program. You will have an email invitation within 7 days from the IIA's distribution center for CIAs. And you will need to activate the CI learning system separately. And, if you have any issues, we have people who can help you. Also recommend that you access the IPPF, International Professional Practices Framework, and its current avatar. The standards are only 20 pages if you remove the index and the glossary. Do go through them. It will really help you again clarify your fundas regarding internal audit, regardless of whether you're sitting for any exam or not. If you're in internal audit or have an interest in internal audit, do please go through these exams. The syllabus is link is given here, and this whole PPT is also going to be available to you on the II India website. So do take advantage of that and get together all the knowledge which you need before you go and sit for this particular exam. Because as I said, the better prepared you are, the better your chances of clearing the exam in the first shot. Can you download and share the study material? You're not supposed to share the material with anyone. It can only be downloaded once, and it is not printable. It's available on an EPUB file. So it only belongs to you if you're planning to change your laptop. Then change your laptop first and then download the file, because you may lose it otherwise. And it's only licensed to one individual user. You can also read all the content online when you are logged into the software. This access is valid for a year because the material sometimes gets updated after that. I have already spoken to you about the 1,000 practice questions which are available. Normally, if you do not have an iPad or an Android device, you would need an Adobe Digital Edition 3.0, which I think is available for free, and to view and read your EPUB file. So this can be downloaded, as I mentioned, only once. So install the Adobe Digital Edition, and once it is there, then the instructions are given as to how you can copy it onto your internal library, and you would have your one-time downloadable file on your laptop or computer. What is the minimum requirement for passing the exam? You must score 600 at least out of 750. So what you're talking about is 80%. But I do believe that each of the questions do not have equal marks, because you do have 150 questions. So logically, you would think that each question would be 4 marks, but it is not the case. So do try to attempt all the questions and make sure you sit for them, and you do need to score well. So you have to be very thorough and conceptually clear with the material. You have 3 years to complete the program once you've registered. Unsuccessful candidates may retake the exam within any of the testing windows in the 3-year period. But in view of the cost involved, I personally recommend that just study hard and clear it the first time. I've already spoken about the concessional fees. But you cannot sit for an exam, a retake before 60 days. So you have to wait for that cooling off period before you can sit for your exam again, in case you are unfortunate enough to not clear it. And once you've cleared your exam, you are entitled for your CIA designation, a certification. This normally happens within 7 business days of successfully clearing the exam. What is the current process? We have an application and registration window, which is currently open till the 30th of September. Don't wait till the end, because whilst you're applying, if you have any problems, at least you have a lot of staff of ii India. All their numbers are given on the website, who will help you to make sure that you register on time and in a proper manner. The exam schedules are November 23 and February 24 on request. So, as I said, you do have to schedule well in advance if you want to sit for this exam, and, try to get a proper slot which works out for you. So this is the scheduling for the exam, November and February in the coming year. But if there is a retake which you have to go in for, this tends to happen in the 4 months which are specified. So once you've finished your application and payment, you need to sit for the exam within 180 days. So please get your timings clear, get them right. There could be case-to-case exceptions, but try to avoid it because it's a cumbersome process. Why do you want to stress yourself out? And if you do not complete your application by September 23, you will have to wait until the next application cycle. As I told you, there is no certainty or guarantee as to when this will open up again. So it's better, if you're interested in the CIA, that you should register by the 30th of September. And once your application is approved, you can schedule your test. Here again, you need to plan well in advance. Because you have to sit for your test at a Pearson VUE testing center, and you can do that via your CCMS profile, which is a candidate management system, by selecting Access Pearson VUE. You can identify which is the location, because they have several locations across India, which is the location, which is the date, which is the time schedule. Just land up there with your ID. Of course, you will have to, this is not an open book kind of an exam, so you just have to start answering the questions within the time slot which is provided to you. I have already spoken to you about the retake in case it becomes applicable. Do you need to visit any centers? I've just covered this. So within Pearson VUE, you select Find a Test Center. So look at the center which is most convenient as far as you are concerned. Because I do remember there was one candidate from Andhra, and he wanted to sit in Hyderabad and it was not available. He had to go to a more remote location to sit for a test center, and that was like a 4-5 hours drive away. So why do you want to create that inconvenience? Select your time and your centers well in advance, so that you are you can do it in a convenient manner. Normally, it does not take more than 24 hours after your exam to get your score reports. Is it possible to make a payment in Indian rupees? Under normal circumstances, we use credit cards, and you have to you can make the payment through your credit card. However, if there are more than 10 candidates, then ii India is ready to support you. Because what would happen is GST would also be charged. So, it is more cost effective only for corporates who have a large number of candidates, so that they can get the ICT for that, the input credit. India can also consider aggregating individual applicants, but my suggestion is just go ahead, use your credit card, international transactions, and do it on your own, do it faster. This is, in my experience, what most of the candidates are doing. So anyway, if you do fall into this category, then get your approval from ii India, log into CCMS. apply and select the CI challenge. And when you get to the screen, you select wire payment and complete the payment. So which would mean that you can complete it via the credit card. Provide the order number. This can be found under My Order tab within the CCMS platform. So if you have any issues in doing this, of course, the II India staff are there to help you to make sure it happens in a proper manner. As I've mentioned to you, can you consult a book? No, it is not an open book exam. So no consultation during the exam, which is going to be taking place on a computer screen on an online basis. What are the benefits of registration and CIA certification? Well, CIA degree and certification is globally recognized. So, I know I was talking to my niece in the UK just last year, and she was asking, I said, well, why don't you just Google and see what are the opening salaries as far as CIAs are concerned? And she was pleasantly surprised. She said, wow, this is as much as, it's a pretty handsome kind of a compensation which is available. And this, of course, applies across the world. You could be in Australia, Canada, UK, US, Latin America, anywhere, even Africa. It is a highly valued degree. So do keep that factor in mind, that you suddenly become globally employable. And it is an accepted and an acknowledged degree. So, it allows you to obtain these multiple benefits. It is a recognition of your proficiency, credibility, and improved competencies, which comes from your having better concepts and studying for internal audit. I do expect that many of you would also have hardcore internal audit experience, and the term CIA assures of a dedicated professional who is willing to invest in personal growth. There are also some surveys which have been done, which talks about the difference between a CIA certified and a non-certified internal auditor. Certainly, it is well worth your while. And, this is as per something which we Googled, and we found that there was a substantial difference. But let's also not forget that this curriculum gives you a better knowledge of governance, risk management, internal controls, internal audit. And these are skill sets which are highly in demand, regardless of what is your profession. I've even spoken to engineers and I said, look, I think if you do your CIA exam, you would, and clear it, you would, of course, become a better professional. And if you follow the values, the code of conduct, which are highly recommended, you also actually become a better manager and a better human being. So these are the benefits which are there. We have given the numbers. As I told you, that you don't have to note any of this down, because this entire PPT is available on the website of the II India. I spoke about a Bank of Baroda financing option. I spoke about the fact that many organizations are sponsoring their own candidates partially or completely for the fees. From BOB, we have managed to get some kind of a circular issued where they say that members can avail an unsecured personal loan up to 1.5 lakhs repayable in 4 years. This was done about a year or two back. So, we've even actually attached a copy to this particular PPT of that circular, because, you may land up in a bank and the manager say, I'm not aware of this. So, if you can give this reference, hopefully you will not need a loan from Bank of Baroda. But if you do, this is what you can do. It's not something which we are guaranteeing from IIA, but it's just there for your personal benefit if you wish. Of course, there are so many other non-banking financial institutions and banks who also extend personal loans to professionals like ourselves. So you can also go in for those. We have told you earlier about Mr. Namchi's recordings, which are also available on YouTube as well as on our website. So please do feel free to access these. He's given a lot of very valuable advice, so do make the most of it. So that's all from my side. I will now stop sharing, and maybe what we could do is look at the Q&As. So we have Ashish. Can I repeat the character reference part, please? So basically, Ashish, what happens is that you will get a mail. Sorry, you will give a reference of a person who is supposed to provide your reference. That person could have any qualification which the IIA has provided, 6 or 7 of them. If they are IIA certified and they give your reference, it's okay. But God forbid, if you don't know anyone with an IIA certification, you can even go to your own immediate supervisor. So if you're working in a firm, it could be your chief audit executive or head of internal audit. If you're working in a firm, it may be your partner who you're reporting to, your internal audit partner. So, you can go to these people, give their reference to the IIA, and do warn them that they will be getting a mail from the IIA, to which they must respond that that your moral character and your competencies are up to the mark. It's a kind of a formality, but it is a necessary formality. If you do not adhere to it, you will not be allowed to sit for the exam. So the character reference is a must. Sudhan is mentioning that Sudhan is a CA as well as a CISA. Is there any specific point to be noted at the time of registration? No, I don't think so. From what I could remember, maybe the CISA candidates had to pay a slightly higher fees. So, maybe if you apply as a CA from ICAI, you may be entitled to that, benefit. You could be able to take benefit of that. Jignesh has mentioned that he's currently based in Muscat. Am I eligible to take the exams based over here? Or other option is to seek membership to IIACI Mumbai chapter and then appear for the exams. So basically, Jignesh, I think if you are a member of IIA India, then I think you are entitled to sit for this exam. Chanchal, you could perhaps clarify that could he sit for this exam from Muscat? I think it is possible because we do have members of IIA India who may be working abroad on an international assignment. So, it's not that they have to come back to India to sit for the exam.
You are right, sir. You are right.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thanks. I just wanted to get that clarification. Mohammed CMK, in order to get concessional rate and fees, is there any compulsion that should take exam only in India? So, Mohammed, I think I've just answered that question, which was also asked by Jignesh. And the last point is anonymous. Is challenge exam content consist of consolidation of all 3 parts of the normal route? To some extent, Mr. Anonymous, you are correct, but not entirely. Because, for example, if you have done in your CA or in any of your IFAC certifications a certain amount of accounting and financial information knowledge, financial management knowledge, which you are expected to have, or costing knowledge, the chances are that those aspects which are already covered in the rigorous curriculum which is there by IFAC, certified attendees would have the benefit of, that would perhaps be covered in lesser amount of detail in the CIA challenge, because they would rather test you out on the other areas. So, one sec, I think there may be one more question. Yes. Rajiv has mentioned, Rajiv Kaushik, is 𝐂𝐈𝐀 the only source for procuring additional mock questions, or are there other platforms? So I believe there are 3 or 4 providers. We are talking to you about 𝐂𝐈𝐀 for the simple reason that IIA India had tied up with 𝐂𝐈𝐀 and they gave this to us as a one-shot benefit only to IIA India members, because nowhere else in the world, I think they did it for the first time, where they're saying that you can access it for 50 days, because we kind of explained to them that, look, much of these fees are payable in dollars, and so are your fees. If you buy 𝐂𝐈𝐀 material, say you would pay maybe 30,000-40,000 rupees for it if you were not a member. But if you're an IIA India member, you could probably get it for close to 50% of that cost. So, I think they've been very, very, beneficial for the members of IIA India, because we have kind of explained to them that a person who's earning in rupees and spending in dollars, it certainly does pinch much more than if you were earning and spending in dollars. So, they were cognizant of that fact. And they have, that is why they have given us this very, very specific concession. But, there is absolutely no restriction. I mean, if you want to, go to Marshalls or there are 3 or 4 other content providers who are also there. One is Hawk, I think. But anyway, I mean, you can just check those out. You're most welcome. I mean, it's just that the costs may be a little more expensive, but we are not giving you any restriction. We are just telling you that what facilities are available. Whether the material provided on registration is enough for the exam, again, they say it is. IIA feels that 14 hours of material, according to them, is good enough. But what I would say is that if you're a member of IIA, you get onto the website, go through the, the IPPF, look at some of those specific standards which are applicable. If there's any subject on which you're not, on which you're getting your questions wrong more often than not, you're not scoring that well. There is such a wealth of experience which is available in the IIA's website. That yes, if you're already comfortable and you're proficient, you obviously don't need to worry. But if there are 1 or 2 functions or sessions or areas on which you feel that you're weak, then certainly, why take a chance? It's better to be prepared. Ranjan, to the best of my knowledge, exam date is throughout the month. So it allows you to, to identify a slot which is suitable for you. And also it could be a date and a time slot, because obviously even if someone is coming for the exam 20 minutes later, it's not that they will be given the same set of questions. Since these are computer generated, I'm sure they must be having some random methodology to make sure that everyone does not get the same questions when they sit for it. So is 30th September last date for application submission or approval? It is for the submission of your application. But Chanchal, that is something Chanchal could also clarify. But I would say don't wait for the last date. Do try to apply beforehand if you can. Chanchal, I think 30th is the last date for application, or because approval could take, approval may take a day or 2 more.
After that also.
Sure. Thank you. And any specific information for those who want to take up the exam in the month of February 24? No specific information. You will have a lot of time to study. So my suggestion is don't wait for the last minute, as many of us try to do. It's better that you keep slowly and steadily preparing. By and large, that's the answer which you see in the newspapers also from the toppers of the various exams. They are the ones who study on a regular basis and make sure that they are very, very well prepared. Believe you me, the benefits are very, very well worth it. So, so do use your time effectively and start preparing as much as you can in advance. So I have tried to answer all the questions which were asked. But in case anyone feels that any of his or her questions have not been responded to, please feel free to ask. I remember Aditya wanted to ask a question. So Aditya, I hope your question has already been answered. But if it hasn't, you're most welcome to ask your question now. All right. So I don't see anyone else with any other questions. So, anyway, even if you do, we have Sana as our most competent chairperson of the Student Development Committee. In addition to that, we have Chanchal, who is supporting us. We have a lot of support in each of the chapters which is available. And, Chanchal has been answering queries for candidates over the last couple of years. So do feel free, you will always get whatever support you need from IIA India. So wish you all the very best. And if no one else has any questions, then should we bring the session to a close, Sana?
Sure, sir. Your session was pretty insightful, and I hope everybody's queries related to the challenge exam is clear by now. I just want to add one thing that, of course, the study material which is provided by IA is pretty sufficient, but what matters most is your own practice. Because once you keep on answering those questions and understanding, appear for the mock test, that increases your chances to clear the exam in the first shot. That is all what I can say. And of course, at IA India, we also have certain sessions specifically for CIA challenge exam students. In case they are interested, they can connect with us and we can organize a special batch, maybe specific for them. We can support them in the way they expect. We can have 1 or 2 sessions specifically planned for those who are appearing for the challenge exam this November. Or maybe another batch we can plan for those who are appearing in February. So in case you're interested, get in touch with Chanchal. He will help you out in putting all the information right and help you in registering for the CIA challenge exam. Thank you so much, Nikhil sir, for the very insightful session. And in case anybody has a query, you can please write to us on coordination@iaindia.org or Chanchal's number, which is available on the website and even on the flyers you must have received for this session. So let us know. Okay, Chanchal has also posted his number in the chat box. You can note it down. In case you have any queries, let us know. If you have any specific question related to how to prepare, etc., we will definitely going to support you in terms of how to prepare for the exams later. Once you enroll, hopefully we will come up with certain more sessions in the month of October and November, right, for the preparation.
Yeah, so just a quick clarification. It's coordination at iaindia.co. So Central has posted that. So just make a note of the email ID. But I repeat, it's also available on the website. So great. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you everyone for joining in today.
My pleasure. Thank you everyone for joining and wish you all the very best. Let's hope you're all going to be registering and hopefully very quickly clearing the CIA. My best wishes to all of you. Goodbye and take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.